So I don't think any court or arbitrator that settles a fee dispute in this case is going to let any attorney walk away with a full fee who didn't do anything but send over to the court a package of your specials. For those of you who are saying, yeah, but I signed a contract, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. Not at all. In every state, the rule is the same. A fee has to be reasonable. And if that attorney worked 100 hours on your case, they cannot walk away with a $100,000 fee, even if you signed it, even if you agreed to it, even if you were happy with it and then changed your mind later. It doesn't matter. That fee is not conscionable, because if you worked 100 hours and you got a fee of $100,000, he's charging you $1,000 an hour, and no attorney in Texas gets that kind of money. Conversely, they are entitled to more money than they would normally pay. Let's say they get only $225 an hour normally. That's a very low figure. The arbitrator might give them $325 an hour because this was a contingent fee case. And attorneys are entitled to more money for the fact that they took on your case that was not a clear winner. That was a risk for them, that they might have put all that time out to win your case, expended all that time, and in fact not won a dime. That they, in some cases, have put out cash out of their pocket for copies, for copying of records, for sending out people to the hospitals to get them, for the service they sent to the hospital to get the appliance, for maybe charts they made in preparation of trial. So they're entitled to charge more per hour than they would if they were not a contingent, if you were just paying right out of your pocket. But it doesn't matter what you signed, you are not stuck. If it works out and you see that's not fair, the guy probably worked 100 hours on my case and he's taking a third, and we're getting a settlement of $300,000, and he's getting $100,000 of that. No way. No court's going to let that go by. And there's going to be some fee disputes. We'll get into that in a few more months, but don't worry, I'm watching it, okay? May I just say two things before we go one step further? I do need something from you. I don't need any money, thanks. But look down below on whatever software you listen to your podcasts. You see the thumbs up? I'm going to wait here until you hit it. I'm serious. I am not going to go ahead until you hit it. Okay. And if you'd like, down below there's also a subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed to my podcast, you may please do so. And that'll make sure that you get a little notice on your computer screen when there's a new show each time. It's supposed to only be one every Monday, but boy, do I have a lot to say on this topic. And so, okay, everybody ready to go back to school? Here, I'm going to get back to the topic. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. We're going to ask, what is the effect of the physician negligence on our case? I think that's what we just went over. Number 5, were any of your cases settled, Mrs. Attorney? In other words, we're going to ask our attorney for either herself or for the law firm, have they had any, let's say in the last 3 years, cases settled by Johnson & Johnson? Because what we're looking for is to make sure there was not a pot of gold that got by us. What we're looking is to see, because just one of the first times it's ever been done, some of the court people are saying, I don't think it's legal. But Johnson & Johnson is going to the different attorneys and saying, you've got 20 cases, right? All right, we're going to give you a check for $500,000, and it's up to you to get all of them to line up and agree on just $500,000 to split between 20 people. Boy, that would be one shitty resolution. I would very much hope you would talk to your different attorney about that. But they're doing that. I think the numbers are better than that, but I do hear that the numbers are very, very, very small. And I'm going to use a word, it has nothing to do with race or black people. They're very niggardly settlements. It has nothing to do with being black or anything like that. You can even read it in the Koran. So the settlements are just embarrassing, but we want to know, is there a pot of money that our attorney has to try and get us to settle, and he's working on it or she's working on it, and we don't know about it, and that's why he's going to come in and say, well, I might be able, if possible, to just squeak out so-and-so. None of us have to think about squeaking out anything. We already know that there is a slim chance, but a possibility, that we're going to get $500 million split 5 ways, $100 million from a jury. So we know our case is worth money. So we don't have to take bottom of the barrel money, but you can just see how much is our attorney going to make without ever having gone to court, having done nothing to do on this case other than have their secretary send to the different hospitals and medical doctors for medical bills, send them to the court and wait for the money to roll in. So our attorney's going to say, I've done nothing on this case at all, at maybe 10, 20 hours of work. If I can get out of that, let's say $20,000 for a fee, times 20 clients, which is $400,000, sure, let's do it. So you can just see why there's something going on there. You want to know if your attorney has settled any of these Depuy Pinnacle cases, and is there any mass offer pending towards your attorney's office? In other words, let's say your attorney is Mr. Flumbo. You would want to say, Mr. Flumbo has Depuy or Johnson & Johnson offered you a large sum of money on condition that you get a large group of your clients to settle. I don't know what answer you'll get, but it is something you would want to know, and I would bet if push came to shove, they are obligated to tell you that. But don't need to get into that now, but that'll help us down the road, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, when we're organizing our fee contest litigation. Okay, number 6. Have you reviewed any medical records yourself, or is a medical expert doing that? I think we already went over that, right? Okay, how about number 7? What was the cost of a normal revision surgery? This only applies if you've had revision surgery. If not, we'll skip ahead. But I don't know, and I would like to know, because I'm constantly trying to do my own estimation of the value of the case, which is very difficult to do if you don't know how much the surgery to correct the problem costs. The settlement value of a case is based in large part on the cost of the medical bills. So how much was the surgery? How much, including the anesthesiologist, the rehab, the home care? How much was it? What was the total? Okay, you want that number. That number is what takes the blinders off you, that opens your eyes. Have you reached an evaluation of my case? Pretty simple. If they have not already told you that, they're way behind the ball. They should have done that 2 or 3 years ago. But you want to know right now, what is my case worth just between me, you, and the fence post? We're not going to tell anybody. But what is the number that you would suggest that I take if they offered this much money and we call it a day? They will fight like crazy, but they are obligated to tell you if they have reached an idea about that. Have you met the judge's deadline, or do you plan on meeting the judge's deadline? It says here it's November 8th. Okay. Do you plan on meeting or have you already sent in the paperwork for the November 8th deadline to get in all my papers? You want to know that. Let's get that information in your new file, your double-checking my attorney file. Don't write that on the outside. I would suggest you don't have anything on the outside except maybe their last name and your last name. Okay, number 10. Have you gotten my surgical reports and read them? In other words, is your attorney reading these complicated surgery reports? Those surgery reports, if you've had surgery, and I'm talking both, everybody in here I'm talking to you. So I'm talking about the surgery where you got the Pinnacle implanted. I'm talking about if there is a revision surgery. We want to know, has he read those files And how deep is his understanding of what exactly went on? Okay. 11, how many hours have you expended on my case? Exactly. Now, this is a question you're entitled to know, but most attorneys will just say, I don't keep hours, I just look at the end and I can eyeball it and figure out how much time everything took me. Okay, if it is, you're going to smile and don't say a word, but if you go into a fee contest, that doesn't hold up nearly as well as contemporaneously kept hours. Okay. Here's a great one. 12. Have you declared ready for trial? That's a form that you file with the court, or you can do it orally, actually. And we want to know, have you told Judge Kincaid that our case is ready? Maybe that's why we're sitting at the back of the line and these other 16 people have gone through and 15 of them have gotten a ton of money. Have you notified the court that I'm ready for trial? When was that done? Okay. Now, we should probably take a quick comfort break here because we're going to get into some deep, thick, complicated water that nobody's been talking about. So here's where we're going to have to put our thinking cap on. So maybe while everybody's getting up and getting a drink of water, I will just thank you again so much, people. I just love you so much for listening to this show. When I see how many people sat there and actually listened to it, I'm really thrilled. As I said, there's not going to be any subscriptions. There's not going to be any advertisements, although we may have a couple of special guests at the end of November. We may have Sumit Rana, the great surgeon who does the revision surgeries in Los Angeles. And if possible, we don't know, but it looks like we may be able to have one of the famous attorneys in this case who won the huge verdict. One of the huge verdicts. There's 3. Okay, but let's get back to... Okay, everybody sit down. Sit down, people. People, sit down. We're getting ready to go. People, get away from the drinking fountain. We're all done. It is now time to go, okay? All right, here we go. Okay. Let's get back to where I was. I lost my place here with all that excitement. Here we go. Effective physics. Okay. Have you? Okay. No, ready for trial. Okay. Now here's a tough one with it's a chess game. We're going to ask our attorney, and I don't want you to think that because you've already read your retainer that you are blocked out from asking this, not entitled to ask it, expected to know it. It makes you stupid because you didn't. No. Even if it's right in the front page of your retainer and you've already signed it, you're still entitled to have them explain to you what the situation is regarding. Is it within Mrs. Attorney, your right, as you understand it, to walk away? That is it your right, Mr. Attorney or Mrs. Attorney? Do you believe that if tomorrow Johnson & Johnson says, screw you, we're done, we've just paid off all the people who have had revision surgery, we've paid off all the people who have had metallosis, and everybody else is a faker, you get nothing. We'll see you in trial in 2022. Can your attorney just walk away? Now, that would mean that your attorney got the big money cases, got the money for him by doing almost nothing. And the other cases, which are not big money cases, he's saying, they're just nuisance at this point. Let's just get rid of them. So we would ask the attorney, this is a variation. It is not the same question. Do you believe that your retainer agreement allows Harrison to do that? Does the retainer agreement I sign allow you, if you look and decide that it's just not financially feasible for you, Mr. Attorney, not me, but for you,